Oh, yeah. Is it Tuesday already? Okay. Andor Season 2 trailer is officially here. Everybody stay calm. Stay calm. It finally happened. The Andor Season 2 trailer dropped yesterday, and we are going to break it all down today. What we missed, what we just get hyped up. So do you want the good news or do you want the great news? Because not only was this trailer incredible, but it currently sits at #1 trending on YouTube, which is absolutely insane. So, without further ado, we got some other news to get to. The 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith is coming to theaters on April 25th, and Kathleen Kennedy is retiring this year. We got a lot to get into and not a lot of time. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Okay, so we got a lot to get into, and I mean a lot. This Andor Season 2 trailer has shocked the Star Wars fandom, but one of the biggest things that has people going crazy is the release date, or the release schedule, let's say, of this second season of Andor, as it will only run for 4 weeks. I know. 4 weeks. That's it. We will only be getting 4 weeks of the Andor show in Season 2, even though there will still be 12 episodes. It's absolutely insane. We're going to talk about all of it. But before we get to any of that, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Shall we? Let's do this. Let's do this, chat. Oh, we already have a super chat? Hang on. I'll get to that in 1 second. Star Wars Order, what is up? Holly in the house. B-Man, what is up? That guy B, not to be confused with B-Man. How we doing? Your pal Joe, what is up? Mace Cameron in the house. Adam, what is up? Justin, how we doing? Josh, what is up? Darth Thor in the house. Trent, what is up? Starship 66, how we doing? Maggie, what is up? Tony, how we doing? Brandon Baker in the house. WUV Grad, what's up? Darth Plagueis, how we doing? Haja in the house. Justin, how we doing? Freddie, what is up? Nathan in the building. Okay, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so we got a super chat right off the bat here, so let's take a look at this. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 hollow. Now, I don't know of a better way to start this live stream, but with a super chat. So I appreciate it, Darth Plagueis. I really, really do. Says trailer time. Finally. Much love to the chat and you and Sam. Well, thank you. I will relay the message. She is not here today, but trailer time indeed. So I think the only right way to start this live stream off, is by just watching through the trailer. Just once. Like, we'll break it down. We'll do all that stuff. But let's just watch through the trailer. Shall we? Hang on. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry. Okay. Fixed it. All right. Let's do this. Let's watch the trailer. Okay. And by the way, this is massive. And I mean massive for us Star Wars fans, as this trailer currently sits with almost 5 million 5 million views in its first day, which is absolutely incredible, and it is #1 on trending on YouTube. #1. This is enormous, because we were talking about the concerns of the fact that Andor Season 1's viewership numbers are pretty low in terms of a Disney Plus Star Wars show, and we were concerned that Season 2 would have the same issue with not a lot of people watching it. But this right here, chat, this right here is incredible news. #1 on trending for an entire day. That's massive. That is so huge for Star Wars fans, especially with the second season of Andor. Let's just watch. Let's watch the trailer, shall we? Let's watch it. All right, let me push this back up to the middle. There we go. Let's do this. Boom, right there. Okay. We're gonna break it down, of course. We're gonna go frame by frame, dissect everything. We will. But let's watch the trailer first, because I'm very interested to hear what you guys think of the soundtrack. Okay? Let's see it, chat.
We're in a war. You wanna fight? Or you wanna win? Last night
Now.
Drum solo!
Remember this moment. You're here, you're right here, and you're ready to fight.
Okay. So, first impressions, chat? What do we think of this trailer? On a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think this trailer was? How hyped up did it make you for Andor Season 2? What did we think of this trailer? Let's talk about that first before we dissect any of it, before we go into all the details, the release date, all that stuff. What did you think of the soundtrack? What did you think of the action? What did you think of the stuff we saw? What did you think of this trailer? How hyped up did it get you? And I'm already seeing some chats like Grand Admiral just said, terrible music. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Okay, 8.5, 9, 10 plus. Okay, 8, 10. And I give nothing a 10? Yeah, that's true, UV grad. You never give anything a 10. 8.6, 10, infinity. Okay, 8.5, 9, 10, 9.8. All right, so here's the thing. Andor Season 2 comes out in 2 months. And we sat here for weeks, if not months, asking ourselves, where the hell's the trailer? We've been wondering for weeks and weeks and weeks now, where the hell has this trailer been? So when that trailer drops, it had to live up to the hype. It had to live up to the expectations of Star Wars fans. And I will say, it absolutely did. I mean, anything they gave us for Andor Season 2 was going to be good. I mean, the show's going to be good, so it's hard to mess that up. The big issue that I've seen online is the music, is the soundtrack. But some fans have come to me and said, Mike, I've seen a lot of fans online saying that this music is trash, but I absolutely love it. So it seems to be this one side loves the music and the other side hates it, much like everything else in the Star Wars fan. But I'm very interested to see what you guys think of the music in this trailer. And actually, so much so that I'm going to put up a poll in the chat. If you haven't smashed a freaking like on the stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. That's what that first poll says. But let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. And by the way, Darth Plagueis lives. I forgot to mention this, but I really, really appreciate the super chat. Super chats, memberships keep the lights on over here, which clearly we are struggling with nowadays. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's a new live sign coming in the mail. It probably won't be here for about a week or two, though, sadly. Okay, so do you like the music in the Andor Season 2 trailer? So obviously, and just yes or no, obviously it's not very Star Warsy. And it's really even more strange because Andor's first season soundtrack is so good. And I believe that the second season is going to be just as good. And I think this trailer is almost trying to do something that Skeleton Crew succeeded in doing as well. Because think about Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew's first sort of big trailer had Major Tom translated into Huttese. And everybody loved it. So I think what they were trying to do here, Lucasfilm was trying to replicate, is the love for that first trailer for Skeleton Crew. And it didn't work. I mean, some people, as you can see, about 70% of you in the chat, do like the music. But there's a lot of people who don't like it and are very, very vocal about not liking the music in this trailer. So I think what they were trying to do was replicate what they did with Skeleton Crew, and it didn't really work. Now, having watched this trailer 1,000 separate times, it grows on you. Like, I'm sitting here watching this going, yeah, the revolution starts now. You know, like, it's hype. But it is very out of place. It's not very Star Warsian, if you will. in the ways of all the Star Wars soundtracks we've heard before, all the trailers we've seen before from Star Wars. The only thing that it's close to is that Major Tom in Huddy's Skeleton Crew trailer. And maybe they were trying to recreate that because that was a very successful trailer for them. Everybody watches that trailer and they're like, yeah. So I really don't know. It's very strange. But the revolution starts now. It gets the point across, if you will. So I'll leave that poll up there for a little bit, but yeah. Your pal Joe with an 18-month membership. Holy crap, Joe, that's insane. I appreciate it quite a bit. Says, I love rock music. It just feels too lighthearted for what Andor is, especially season 1. Didn't have that tone at all. It feels out of place. It does. It does, because Andor's first season doesn't have that rock and roll feel. It's a slower build. It's more of it's what the soundtrack is in season 1. So it is a little out of place. I'll give you that. It is a little bit out of place. For sure. Oh my God, Tom with his first ever super chat. I appreciate that, Tom. Says, I appreciate the longer videos and intriguing content. I watch everything. Wait, what? I watch every chance I get. Sorry. Keep up the good work and keep those bills paid. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that quite a bit. With a very generous $10 holler. That's insane. And yeah, we sort of took a hiatus from making longer form videos, other than the live streams, of course, which are like 2 hours long. But we took a hiatus from making those long form videos after Skeleton Crew ended, when we were making those breakdown videos for Skeleton Crew. It was a lot just because I'm a very busy guy, you know. Now, but I had a lot of things going on outside the channel, so I didn't really have time to do that. But yes, we back-to-back days. We had the What If come out on Sunday, and of course the breakdown video for this trailer come out yesterday. So if you haven't watched those, go check them out. The What If I am very, very proud of. It took weeks and weeks and weeks, but it came out just to my liking, and I appreciate all the people, all the love in the chat, in the comment section of that video as well. So I appreciate it, Tom. I really, really do. First ever super chat, starts it off with a big one. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Okay. So interestingly enough, I thought this poll was going to be a little bit more divided. It's not. It's about 73% of you saying yes, you do like the music, to 27% of you saying no. Interesting. And like Jedi Jarvo says, Skeleton Crew is an absolute love. Like, can't stop listening to that trailer because it's the Major Tom and Huddies. And I think they were trying to recreate that with this trailer. Yeah. Oak Jet says, April 27th is the 20th anniversary. Yes, it is. We'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to just start with Andor for now. But I appreciate it. I really do. Okay. So, let's dive into this trailer. Actually, before we even do that, I want to talk about the gigantic elephant in the room, and that is the release schedule. Okay? The release schedule for this show was announced, so let's take a look at this. This is the article from StarWars.com that came out along with the teaser trailer and the poster. Nobody's really talking about the poster that we got too, but there's a poster along with this trailer. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look. First, Andor, a Star Wars story, teaser. By the way, they're not calling it Andor Season 2. Well, they are and they aren't. Like, it says Andor Season 2 right here, but they're calling it Andor, a Star Wars story, which is pretty weird to me. I don't know why, but whatever. Teaser trailer and poster revealed, okay? The first trailer for Andor Season 2 exploded onto the scene today, quite literally. Still sitting at number 1, with a glimpse of a rebirth of the Rebel Alliance as we know it. Ahead of the long-awaited season premiere on April 22nd, 2025, the trailer reunites us with Cassian Andor, Senator Mon Mothma, Bix, Luthen, Cyril, and of course a lot of others, from the critically acclaimed and Emmy-nominated first season of the Disney Plus series. Now, they've really are relying, or I guess putting a lot of eggs in the basket of the critically acclaimed first season of this show. In the trailer, in the poster, critically acclaimed. It's critically acclaimed. Did you know that, Chad? That first season was critically acclaimed. Try saying that 10 times fast. Yeah, so the critically acclaimed first season of Andor. Now, let's not get this twisted. Let's not get this wrong here, chat, okay? The first season of Andor is spectacular. It is. It really is. Tell me in the chat if you like the first season of Andor. Tell me out of 10 what you rate first season of Andor in the chat right now. Because it's spectacular. We're currently doing members-only watch parties, watching through Season 1 every Sunday until Andor Season 2 begins, and that's a lot of fun because Andor Season 1 is spectacular. But did the fans who watched it love it? Yes. Did the critics love it? Obviously, it's critically acclaimed. But not a lot of people watched it. Not a lot of people watched it. It is one of the lowest viewed Star Wars shows on Disney Plus to date. Still one of the lowest viewed ones. And, of course, you had the whole Andor. You had the whole, there shouldn't be those types of screws in Star Wars. The AK-47 looking blasters, like all that stuff you had as well, with people crapping on the show, but everybody craps on everything Star Wars because they make money doing so. So that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But the issue coming into Season 2 is the viewership numbers. Are the viewership numbers going to be the same as Season 1? Well, I guess only time will tell. So far, so good, as currently the trailer is still trending at number 1 on YouTube. It has over almost 5 million views in its first day, which is very, very good. But they're really relying heavily on advertising this show as a critically acclaimed show. And it's smart to do so. You have to remind people how good that first season was, but you're going to see the critically acclaimed thing over and over and over again, as you can see it right here and right on the poster. Okay, but as well as key characters from fan-favorite standalone film Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, like K2SO, who is in the trailer, Saw Gerrera, who was in Season 1, but not really that big of a role, and the biggest one, director Orson Krennic, being played by Ben Mendelsohn, reprising his role. So Krennic being in the trailer, he's in it actually a couple times, and we'll get into why I think he's in the trailer so much, but his role in Season 2 might be a big one, but we'll get to that. Okay, so this is the paragraph that really has people going crazy. Creator and executive producer Tony Gilroy has shared that this season will follow Cassian's journey in the 4 years leading up to the events of Rogue One, with the 12-episode story unfolding in 4 weekly chapters of 3 episodes each. What? What are we talking about here? Andor's only going to run for 4 weeks? Is this good news or bad news, Chet? I've really been going over this over and over and over my head, trying to figure out, first of all, why they would do this, why they would take a show that can run for 10 weeks, maybe even 12 weeks if you spread it out far enough, and compact it into 4. And there's a few different reasons that they would do this that would sort of make sense. But there's also a few reasons as to why they should never do this. Not even just for my own personal perspective, because I would love to do watch parties for 12 straight weeks. But the logic here is very, very strange. So I want to know. Actually, we're going to put up another poll in the chat because I gots to know. Hang on, let's end this poll. By the way, this poll is actually way more shocking than I thought. As almost 75% of you guys said yes, you do like it, the music in the trailer. Do you think 4 weeks of Andor is a good idea? Yes or no? Do you think having Andor only span for 4 weeks is a good idea? And first of all, before you ask, how the hell does that even work, Mike? Let me show you. This is what the release schedule will look like. Okay? This is it. So this was the directors that were confirmed for each episode. Actually, no, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to the directors later. Let's get to the episode releases. Here we go. We'll go to my tweet. Why not? Okay. Andor Season 2 only has 4 weeks. April 22nd, which is, of course, the release date, will have a 3-episode premiere. Episode 1, 2, and 3. But 1 week later, on April 29th, there will be 3 more episodes. 4, 5, and 6. A week later, on May 6th, there'll be 3 more episodes, 7, 8, and 9. And then 1 week later, on May 13th, 3 episodes, 10, 11, 12. That's it. 4 weeks of Andor. So is this a good thing? Is this a bad? What are the pros and cons to this, chat? Well, there's a lot. There really, really is. First of all, it makes sense from a storytelling perspective. Each 3 episodes spans the one story of that 1 year, and there'll be a gap, about a year gap in between each arc. So it makes sense to not confuse the audience by giving you an entire arc in one day. 3 episodes telling one arc, and then the next week is a completely different arc in a completely different time, about a year later. So that makes sense. It also makes sense because you're going to have more people watching. Somebody brought this up in the comment section of the breakdown video yesterday, and it was a genius point. I actually completely forget who it was, and I apologize. But the numbers, the Nielsen numbers, there's the numbers in general of viewership minutes, which so many people focus on. Skeleton Crew never once cracked the top 10 in the Nielsen charts. Never once in its 7-week run. And that's a big issue. For Star Wars fans who really focus, or I guess people who really focus on the numbers, Skeleton Crew didn't touch the top 10. Even the Acolyte struggled to get on the top 10 every single week. I believe there's a few weeks actually when it didn't make the top 10. So the last 2 live-action Star Wars projects have struggled really to get onto those top 10 charts because it's minutes watched per week. Minutes watched per week. So what do you do to combat that? You release 3 episodes in 1 week. Because then people are watching 3 times the amount of content in 1 week. That means 3 times the amount of minutes watched in 1 week. Meaning there is no way that Andor will be kept off these lists. There is absolutely no way. Because people will be watching 3 times the amount of minutes. So when Andor Season 2 comes out and it's at the top of the charts for the Nielsen numbers, well, that's why. So from a business perspective, it makes sense. You want to be on those numbers? It makes sense. But from a different business perspective, I guess from one aspect of the business perspective, it makes sense. From the different side of the business perspective, it makes 0 sense at all. This is Disney Plus. This is a streaming subscription service, meaning you pay monthly to watch a streaming show. And Disney Plus sort of relies more so on the already existing content, the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, the MCU movies that already exist, the Pixar films that already exist, all that stuff. It relies a lot on that. The new monthly subscribers that come from new shows, those are far and few between because there's not a lot of shows coming out on Disney Plus. There's some Marvel shows, there's some Star Wars shows, and that's about it. That's about it. So to take what could be 3 or 4 months of subscriptions from Star Wars fans who are only subscribing to watch Andor and dwindle it down to 4 weeks, 1 month, it's not very smart from a business perspective. So on the one hand, you make it look like the streaming numbers are 3 times as much and you are on all the charts, probably at the top of all the charts because there's 3 episodes coming out every single week. But on the other hand, you are hurting yourself from getting more subscribers for more months because instead of 4 months, now you only have 1. Let's not forget, chat, that Andor Season 2 is the only one Star Wars live-action show coming out this year. Last year, we had 2, The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. The year before, we had 2, Mando Season 3, Ahsoka. The year before that, we had 3, Andor, Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett. The year before that, we had 2, maybe 1, I don't even know. But you get the gist. It's usually 2 or 3, not 1. In Andor Season 2, being the only one live-action show to come out on Disney Plus for Star Wars, it would be okay if it ran for 12 weeks, but now it's only running for 4. So think about it this way. With The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew only being 8 episodes each, they both ran for 7 weeks because they had 2-episode premieres. So for 14 weeks of the year, we got Star Wars content. 14 weeks, we got new Star Wars content for 14 weeks of the 52-week year. Now, this year, instead of getting 10 or even 11 weeks of Andor, we are now only getting 4. And no other live-action Star Wars content, at least that we're aware of. Star Wars Celebration is in April. Could they possibly be announcing a brand new live-action show that's already ready to go? Well, that would be a well-kept secret. I don't think so. So this is the only live-action Star Wars show coming out this year, and you're going to dwindle it down to just 4 weeks? I like it and I don't like it. Obviously, it makes sense because it's a 1-year arc for 3 episodes. So you just give all the 3 episodes at the same time. It helps the numbers. It helps the Nielsen charts. It helps all that stuff. But it also hurts you quite a bit. You're now only got 4 weeks of Star Wars content this year, at least from the live action perspective, because there's probably going to be an animated show somewhere in there. And you dwindle down your subscribers. People who would be subscribed to Disney Plus for 4 months to watch Andor are now only going to be subscribed for 1. So I'm very interested to see what you think, chat. What do we think of this release schedule? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do we think? I've seen both arguments of both sides. I kind of just gave both arguments to both sides, but tell me in the chat. What do we think? It's weird. It is weird. It is weird, especially because the first season didn't do this. If the first season did this and then the second one did as well, then it would make sense. But the first season didn't have this same pattern. So what do we think? What do we think? John, I have no control over what color your name is in the chat, but I'm glad you like it. WUV Grad says, yeah, but people got bored easily. So you drag something out for 12 weeks and it's to the start of the summer, and people will bail out, especially after this winter. Interesting. That's a great point as well. Think about it this way. You have Andor, which dragged on for 12 weeks, and maybe some people just hop off the bandwagon right away because they get bored or they just don't care anymore. Something that sort of happened with Andor Season 1. When you think about it, they had to put in Tales of the Jedi right in the middle of the season because people weren't even paying attention. They had to give us something else. Andor is a slow start, and a lot of people couldn't get past that slow start, and that might have hurt it. So maybe Andor Season 2 is trying to combat that by just giving us all the content as quickly as possible so that people don't fall off the ship. Interesting. I like that. I like that take. I think they're trying something out, and Andor is a test. Okay, Seeley. But why would you test something of this caliber? You know? Think about it this way. Andor Season 2, when we talk about guaranteed successes, should be one. It's the middle of a trilogy in a way, Rogue One being the end of that trilogy and Andor Season 1 being the beginning of it. Could be one of the best trilogies of all time. But it should be a guaranteed success. All the people who watched Andor Season 1 are patiently awaiting Season 2, like myself and like you guys. So, of the people, although there weren't many, that watched Season 1 are eagerly awaiting for Season 2. So maybe they see it as a guaranteed success, so they're going to test something out. Sure, maybe. But at the same time, you could argue that because Season 1 was so little viewed, that people need some reason to come watch Season 2. And if you span it over a longer period of time, the more word of mouth will get out and people will watch it more. 4 weeks and done means after the 4th week, nobody's talking about Andor Season 2 anymore. I mean, unless it's spectacular and everybody's talking about it forever, which hopefully is the case. But usually, once a show is over, it's done. It's gone. You think about it like Netflix. The reason I love Disney Plus is because of the weekly releases. Netflix drops everything all at once. And that's cool for like about 5 minutes. Everybody binge watches the whole entire season. It's hyped up. Yeah, woo, Squid Game Season 2 came out a few weeks ago. It was this massive big thing. I watched it. You probably maybe watched it. It was this huge thing. It took the internet over by storm for about a week. And then it was over. That was it. It's over. It's gone. The problem with that is you could span it for 8 weeks and get the hype talking about Andor, talking about Star Wars, talking about all that stuff online for 12 weeks, 10 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. More than 4. Because once that 4th week ends, it's over. People are done. Look at Skeleton Crew, for example. Skeleton Crew ended, and although it was a great show, people just stopped talking about it almost immediately. It was on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And Skeleton Crew was fantastic. I want to see those characters more. I want to see a Season 2. It doesn't seem likely, but I want to see a Season 2. But it's over. So why would you not want people talking about your show more for longer periods of time? You know? It's better for content creators. I don't know if what you're saying. Not many big budget shows drop over the summer. 12 weeks will take you into the summer. Yes and no. I mean, the summer used to be this bad spot to release something because people were out doing things. But that isn't really the case. Now you have summer blockbusters. You have Deadpool and Wolverine last summer. You have Top Gun Maverick a few years ago. What else is top? The Boys season 4 was last summer. I don't know. You have a lot of stuff that comes out the summer because now the summer is actually a great market to release something. Yeah. Yeah. Justin says, again, it will make it feel like a movie. Yeah, kind of. That it will, to an extent. It's possible that it will feel like 4 big movies. Because it's 3 episodes, you got to think that the episode is going to be about 35 to 40 minutes long. 40 minutes times 3, you're talking about 120 minutes, which is about 2 hours. So, yeah, it might feel like an Andor movie every single week. So we're getting 4 Andor movies, pretty much. When you put it that way, that sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. People won't have as much time to hate on it. That's an interesting take, too. Because the more time you have releasing it, you'll have more time to get hyped up about it, but you also have more time to hate on it. Interesting. Disney might just be done with Andor and trying to get it up and out before a bigger project. No, they definitely know that Andor is going to be a big success for them. I don't think they're done with Andor, so to speak. I think there's something we just don't know about yet. Think about it this way. Star Wars Celebration is 2 days before Andor Season 2 airs. 2 days. So it's going to be a slew of announcements at Star Wars Celebration. Hopefully some animated shows and some live action shows and some movie updates and all that stuff. But I think there's going to be one sort of huge announcement that steals the show, so to speak. Some announcement of a project that is ready to go right now that will release this year, whether it's live action or animation, I don't know, probably animation, but we'll see. And that will be what sort of holds Star Wars fans over. Because once Andor is over on May 13th, currently, right now, there is no other Star Wars projects for 2025. That's not good. That's not good for a number of reasons. As Star Wars fans, we want to watch as much Star Wars content as possible, and they'll usually spread it out equally so that we get a lot of content every single year. Usually projects at the beginning of the year, middle, and end. Beginning, middle, end. This year, it's just the beginning. Sort of the middle, I guess, but even just the beginning, and that's it. Mike, nobody subscribing for Andor in the first place, LOL? I think you'd be surprised. Yeah. A lot of people subscribe just to watch a new show and then unsubscribe. A lot more than you'd think. Yeah. Yeah. Dead Mike says, why is the host hating on the format? There's so much to go into on this one little sentence. First of all, the host, it literally has the same name as you. Not that hard to remember. And I'm not hating on the format. I'm giving the pros and the cons. Like I said, there's a lot of pros to this. The viewership numbers are going to skyrocket because you're 3xing them. Easily 3 times the amount of minutes being watched. And it's a great thing. You're getting possibly an Andor movie every single week for 4 weeks. I'm just also explaining what the bad side of it is because there's a lot to each side. Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy's leaving. That seems to be the rumor. Seems to be the rumor. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. All right, let's break down this trailer, okay? So we talked about the release schedule. It's a whole thing, whether you like it or not. Actually, let's take a look at the poster first. So this is the poster that released with the trailer. Nobody seems to be talking about this, but it's pretty cool. It's Cassian. Of course, the critically acclaimed series returns. The critically acclaimed series returns. Andor Season 2 Andor, A Star Wars Story, Season 2, April 22nd on Disney+. And this is, of course, the Death Star behind him. What's really weird to me is they're marketing this a lot to do with the Death Star. The first season of Andor ends with the Death Star. And now the second season has the Death Star in the poster, has it in the trailer, and has Krennic looking over it as well. So they're really focusing on the Death Star. But from what I remember, doesn't Cassian not know about the Death Star until Rogue One? So if the Death Star is really going to be this ominous presence in the second season, well, Cassian's not going to be able to see it or know about it. It's interesting. Okay, well, let's take a look at this trailer. Let's break it down. Okay. Oops. Okay, so it starts here. The opening scene is on Gorman. Gorman's this planet that maybe you know, maybe you don't. Give me one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about when I say Gorman and the Gorman Massacre, because we talked about this before. Actually, I'm going to pull it up. I explained it in my breakdown video as well, but the Gorman Massacre is something that has already existed in Star Wars canon. We're just getting it explained in the Bad Batch. They did it in Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, so Star Wars Rebels does have a mention of the Gorman Massacre, but here we go. Gorman Massacre, Star Wars. So this is the explanation given from Wikipedia. So let's go with this. Perfect. The Gorman Massacre, also known as the Massacre on Gorman, ooh, fancy, was an incident that took place in 2 BBY. This actually gives us a pretty good idea as to when this will take place in the show. It'll likely be the second to last arc, meaning it will release on May 6th, because 2 BBY means 2 years before A New Hope, before the Battle of Yavin. And this show is going to lead directly into Rogue One, which is right before the Battle of Yavin. So that would be in the same year. So it would be a year before that, and that would put it in the second to last arc. But takes place in 2 BBY, in which stormtroopers of the Galactic Empire slaughtered peaceful protesters on the planet Gorman. Magva Yoro, sure, who had taken part in the protests, survived the massacre and ended up joining Saw Gerrera's partisans. So a member of, who is this again? Oh, this lady. Does she appear in Rogue One? Yeah, she's in Rogue One. Okay. Oh, wait, no, she's not. She's in the visual guide to... she is in Rogue... Okay, I got you. Appearances are Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, first and only appearance, but she works for Saw Gerrera, and she's a survivor of... Oops. The Gorman Massacre. Okay. So, ended up joining Saw Gerrera's partisans. Reports of the massacre reached Senator Tyron Pomlo. Who is this? Aha, okay. Let's go to appearances. She was in the Bad Batch. Interesting. She's in Rogue One, and that's probably the only place we know her from. First appearance and sort of only appearance. She was in the Bad Batch. I don't remember seeing her in the Bad Batch, but yes, she's in Rogue One at the Battle of Yavin, or at the base on Yavin. Oh, here she is in the Bad Batch. Let's see. Can I get this full set? Yes. There you go. There she is in the Bad Batch. Okay. So, the reports of the massacre reach her, who works closely with the Rebel Alliance, and following the massacre, Senator Mon Mothma publicly blames Sheev Palpatine, the Emperor, for the attacks on Gorman, prompting the Empire to attempt to capture Mon Mothma. So this is why it is so important that this Gorman Massacre is happening in Season 2, and even in this trailer. This is the event that Cassian's going to be attending. This is the event, Stars Edits, what's up? That is going to kickstart the whole thing. Kickstart Mon Mothma becoming an actual enemy of the Empire, and why she has to go into hiding, why she has to join the rebellion, why this whole thing really has to kick into gears as the Senate is collapsing. because for the last 19, 18 years, since Order 66, the Senate has still been a thing that exists. It's not until the original trilogy when the Senate pretty much gets destroyed, when the Death Star comes around and all that stuff. And that's what we're leading up to here with the Gorman Massacre. And it just so happens that our main character, Cassian Andor, is in attendance. So, this is Gorman. That's also Gorman, as the stormtroopers are gunning down the peaceful protesters. What's going on here? Is that Cassian? Looks like it. Who do we think this is, chat? In my breakdown video, actually, I don't even know if I kept this in there, but I was speculating that this is Vel from season 1 of Andor. Just from the behind, like she usually wears this trench coat, I think, on Aldhani, maybe, if I could be corrected. It just looks like it could be her. I don't know. I don't even know where she is right now. This is some sort of, looks like probably on Coruscant, but I don't know. Looks like Vale. I think so. Will there be a Jyn Erso at the end of the of season 2? Possibly. Possibly. We're definitely going to talk about other Rogue One characters that could appear in this show, for sure.
We're in a war.
So this happens at the very end of the show. The only reason we know that is because this spans, of course, 4 years, and we're going to see Cassian Andor look physically very different in all those 4 different arcs. And this is going to be the last one, because this is exactly what he looks like going into Rogue One. The beginning of Rogue One, this is exactly what he looks like. And this is Yavin 4. This is the Yavin 4 base from A New Hope and from Rogue One. Of course, the Battle of Yavin, BBY, ABY, the entire timeline of Star Wars is based off of this one place. But you can see the sort of pyramid-looking thing behind them. And this is the Yavin 4 base. Like we just talked about, this base being in the trailer and being in season 2 will allow us to see some familiar faces. Possibly a Harrison Dula, possibly a Chopper, possibly the Ghost itself, possibly a Bail Organa, possibly a Leia Organa, and who knows who else. But it could give us some pretty cool cameos, if you will.
You want to fight?
So this is where I think Bix goes into hiding. At the end of season 1, Bix, Brazos, and the others, they go into hiding from the Empire. And Cassian goes with Luthen instead. And I think the Empire is going to find them. A lot more stormtroopers already, it seems like, in the second season. Because the first season sort of, we had a few stormtroopers here and there, but it was mostly like you started with what were they called? Cyril. What was Cyril's job in season 1? What was he called? Whatever. But you didn't have stormtroopers really much, and you're going to have a lot more in the second season. But some people think that this planet with all these crops and everything could be, well, one of 2 places, I guess. Some people were saying Dantooine, which would be pretty cool because Dantooine's only really been mentioned in the original trilogy. Well, it's been mentioned a lot of places, but you know. And other people think it could be Lothal. And I actually like the Lothal one quite a bit because it looks very similar to Lothal in terms of just the rolling fields of whatever this is. And in the background, you can kind of see some mountains in the distance, and Lothal has those mountains where sort of the Jedi Temple is. Also, hang on, let me pull this up. Somebody on the X, formerly known as Twitter, found this too. Yeah, look at this. So it looks very, very similar to the planet of Lothal. It's just fields and fields and fields for a long period of time. And it would be a connection to Rebels. It would also have a connection to the Empire, because the Empire has a very strong presence on Lothal until the Battle of Lothal. So what do you think, chat? Oh, you're watching Rebels right now? That's awesome. A Lothcat in the grass? I don't know. I think it could be this. It could be a new planet for all we know. I mean, the first season of Andor introduced so many new planets. It could be a new planet for sure. But it definitely bears a striking resemblance to Lothal. Yeah. I don't know. Tell me in the chat. Is it Lothal? Possibly. Okay. But you got a lot of stormtroopers.
Or you want to win?
That, again, could be Lothal. But you got what I think's going on here is Cassian's coming to save Bix and the others. They probably called out to him because the Empire has found them. And he shows up in a TIE fighter, a TIE maybe Defender, possibly. Or maybe a TIE, I think they're called Avengers or something like that. Some sort of TIE fighter. He shows up in a TIE fighter to sort of save the day, save Bix and the others. And that's what I think's going on here. And there's more evidence to suggest that later on in the trailer. But boom, big explosion. Let's not forget that this Andor Season 2 has the biggest budget of any Star Wars Disney Plus show ever, with almost $300 million. $300 million. So that's crazy, first of all. And second of all, it's going to allow us to see incredible CGI, incredible special effects like this. I love the camera angle on the ship. Like this is below on the TIE fighter. But we'll see later on in the trailer, and we see it in Rogue One as well, is the camera on the X-Wing, and it's pretty damn cool. Yeah. We need a Bix show. Mike, she will not die. Bix is a goner 100%. Bix is going to die in Season 2, and I would bet money on it. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Critically acclaimed. Now, the first season of Andor was hailed by critics everywhere. They're really focusing in on this. Really, really focusing in on this because, yes, the first season was critically acclaimed. It was. People who watched it really loved it for the most part. But not a lot of people watched it. So they're really, really relying on the critically acclaimed here. Yeah. Saw Gerrera. So he was in Season 1, obviously, but he didn't play a big role. He's probably in, 2 scenes when Luthen goes to visit him twice. And that's it. So he plays a very small role in Season 1. However, I think his role is going to be way bigger in Season 2. I mean, we see him multiple times in this trailer alone, but I think it's sort of just going down the route of Saw Gerrera is going to play a big role in this. Now, Saw Gerrera has a very strong relationship with some very important characters from Rogue One, and that is Galen Erso, Jyn Erso, and his Galen's wife. So the fact that he trusts Jyn Erso with Saw Gerrera at the beginning of that movie means that they have a very strong relationship from the past. So it's possible that seeing a lot of Saw Gerrera in the second season could allow us to see Galen Erso and would explain us sort of why he was working for the Empire in the first place and how he stopped working for the Empire. And that's why he's hiding out at the beginning of Rogue One. It's possible. This is Mon Mothma at her daughter's wedding, the wedding that was set up at the end of Season 1 so that she could get funding for the rebellion. She seems very concerned for a lot of reasons, but I think that walking through the door right now is people that she doesn't want to see, and those people are the Empire. So we'll get to that later when we see Krennic again, but she looks pretty, she looks pretty sad, so to speak. Yeah. But this is her daughter's wedding, and what we've heard is that this wedding is going to be a very important piece to the story. I think it'll probably be in one of the earlier arcs, maybe the first arc or the second arc of 3 episodes. But yeah. Luthen. Okay, just like Bix, I think Luthen's a goner. And strangely enough, this is the only, I believe, right? The only time we see Luthen in this trailer. Right? So Luthen's only in this trailer once. And honestly, I think he's a goner. I mean, there's no way Luthen, one of the main leaders of the rebellion, survives Andor Season 2 and is not in Rogue One and is not in the original trilogy. I get if it's like a side character, like Bix could possibly survive. It's unlikely, but she could. Luthen, on the other hand, he goes on this whole monologue about how important the rebellion is to him, how he gives everything to the rebellion. And you're telling me that he's just gonna leave the rebellion? I don't think so. Yeah. So with that being said, I think Luthen's a goner. Tell me in the chat, do you think Luthen's going to die in season 2? Tell me, okay? But he's definitely going to die. So with that being said, this is the only Luthen we see in the trailer.
The revolution starts now.
Kaboom. So this looks like it could be Coruscant, but we see later on in the trailer a different perspective of this planet, and it doesn't look like Coruscant. So I don't know where they are, but again, Bix and Andor are working together now. They're working together. So that'll be pretty interesting to see as Tim, R.I.P. Tim. Orson Krennic. The return of Ben Mendelsohn to Star Wars in this Andor Season 2 confirmed that he lied in the interview where he was with Amelia Clark, where they were asked if they would ever come back to Star Wars, and he was like, no, no, I didn't get the phone call, I never got the phone call. Liar. He is in Andor Season 2, and I think he will play a very, very big role in this second season. Very big. But tell me in the chat, what do we think? In this next scene is the Death Star. Now, first of all, it looks like Tony Stark right there. Tony Stark has a heart, but it really, that just popped into my head right now. It looks like Tony Stark, but the Death Star being prominent in season 2 is pretty interesting. Krennic being there with the Death Star means, again, cameo appearances from Vader or Tarkin or Palpatine are possible at this point. Very, very possible. Luthen's a Sith? I doubt that. But with that being said, the Death Star and Krennic being in the show allow for a lot of cameo appearances, if you will. Yeah. And let's not forget, too, like I mentioned in my breakdown yesterday, Cassian, for 3 episodes, helps create the Death Star. Now, he doesn't know that he's creating the Death Star, but he helps create it, which is pretty crazy. He creates his own destruction. As we know, he does die to the Death Star at the end of Rogue One. Yeah. But that's pretty cool.
Well, party this is.
I believe this is Saw Gerrera's planet. I don't know why that guy's dead on the ground, but yeah. Gorman, again, the massacre on Gorman. Stormtroopers, a bunch of slaughtered people in the middle of the... Like, Cassian's going to survive this somehow, but I'm sure it's going to be quite a daring escape, if you will. Yeah. This was the planet I was talking about before. It doesn't look like Coruscant to me here. It could just be any sort of planet that has a city on it. Like, doesn't have to be Coruscant here. Brazos on this farming planet, possibly Lothal, possibly not, but Brazos being taken away by the Empire. So it's possible that a big portion of this, maybe one of the arcs, is Cassian and Bix trying to save Brazos from Imperial capture. It's likely. Dedra. Now, what's weird to me is these stormtroopers without their helmets on. Now, they're not really stormtroopers. They look like maybe training to become stormtroopers. That's a possibility too. But they don't have the full armor on, and they don't have the helmets on, obviously. This is why I think Mon Mothma was so depressed and scared at the beginning of this trailer at her daughter's wedding. Because this is Krennic and some other Imperial officers behind him talking to Mon Mothma. This is clearly her face off to the left here. And that's coming face to face with the bad guys. That's not very good, if you ask me. This is, what's his name? Davos or Dravos or something? Vos. The guy whose son is being married to Mon Mothma's daughter. That's also why I think it's probably going to be at the wedding. Quite the wedding she's going to have here. Quite the wedding. Yeah. Will there be any mention of Kyber crystals, Jedi or the Force? Possibly. I mean, we're rewatching Andor Season 1 right now with the members on Sundays, and you forget how many little Easter eggs are thrown in there, like the kyber crystals given to Cassian from Luthen, and he talks about the Rakatan Empire. Like, that stuff is absolutely insane. And I don't believe that they are actually doing that kind of stuff. It's wild. Yeah. The critically acclaimed series. So this is Cassian stealing that TIE fighter, it looks like, and he's going to be blasting. I mean, he's just gunning down these stormtroopers. This is crazy. Again, the cool angle from on the X-Wing. I'm guessing this is Saw Gerrera's guys, but I don't know. I'm just fully... This is a... Oops. No, damn it. Is this... It looks like the ship that was on the planet that we looked at before, and there's also the other X-Wing over there to the left. This is weird. It's a very quick scene, so it makes it seem like it's important. But there's not really much going on here. It's just Mon Mothma, her husband, that guy, and weird Frankenstein-looking lady. What the heck? You know, Frankenstein's hair goes like, poof, like that's what her hair looks like. And then this weird camera-looking thing. Is this a camera in Star Wars? I don't know, Chad. Looks pretty strange to me. K2SO. So a lot of fan theories have been going around as to how K2 and Cassian are going to meet and fall in love and become best friends, you know. Some people think that B2, the droid from the first season, which, by the way, B2 is not in this trailer at all, which is pretty weird. But people think that B2's memory will be transferred into K2SO's head. That's a possibility. Or they just somehow rework this Imperial droid. Now, what's really strange to me is that the last time Cassian was brought face-to-face with one of these droids, he was holding him up by his neck, choking him, and almost killing him. And then he was thrown in prison. So how Cassian goes from that experience to becoming best friends with this same exact model of droid is going to have to be explained pretty damn well. Because if I were him, I wouldn't really trust a droid that held me up against a wall, choking me to death. But that's just me. I don't know. Cassian seems to have some trust issues himself, so I don't know how that's going to work. But again, we'll see. Yeah. So K2SO, we already knew was going to be in this second season, but there you have it. First look at him. This just looks like when Cassian's escaping with the TIE fighter. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is them sort of reuniting. And it looks like Cassian just shot down that thing from the sky on this same Lothal-looking planet. And he saved the day so that he could save Bix and probably the others too. Yeah. I really don't know what's going on in this frame here. I don't know what planet this is. I don't know why they're tearing up the ground. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on here. This is the most sort of mysterious frame. This looks like the Gorman Massacre, possibly. But I have no idea what this is. Cyril. He is not eating cereal, sadly, and he's not with his mom, but he is with his mom, or his mom is seen later in the trailer. But Cyril, he seems to be on Gorman. This looks like Gorman as well. So not only will Cassian be there, but Cyril will be as well. And of course, it looks like he recognizes, or he would easily recognize Cassian for what Cassian did to him throughout the entire first season. Absolutely. And this looks like it may be Cassian trying to help some pedestrian or something, and that's what he's looking at. And he knows that it's Cassian, so he's like pooping his pants. He's like, no way. Not that guy. Not the guy who escaped me like 10 different times and murdered my two friends. This lady looks crazy. She's pointing a gun to all their heads.
Remember this moment.
Bix getting tortured by yet another Imperial officer. She's got it rough. I mean, she was tortured pretty bad in the first season. Hopefully she doesn't get it that bad in the second season. But hopefully she kills this guy. But hey, Bix is going to die anyway, so it's possible she's dying here. Yeah. You can use the comma and period to go back and forth between frames on YouTube, by the way. If you are right about this, you would have just changed my life. Hang on. What? What? This saves me so much time. You have no idea. This just changed my entire outlook on life. This just changed everything. Holy crap. What? This is insane. Okay, chat. Well, if you didn't know, the period and comma buttons on your keyboard go frame by frame. That's insane. Do you know how much time this would have saved me if I knew this like 2 years ago? Holy crap. Okay, we got Cyril's mom. This is crazy. This just blew my freaking mind. Holy crap. I've been trying to find frames of trailers for years now. Holy crap.
This is where the fun begins.
Who said that? Dids, you win the stream today. Yeah, it's an educational channel right now. I'm going to have to, I might have to change, because when you select a live stream on YouTube, you have to say what it is, and I always do entertainment, because Star Wars is entertainment, I'm entertainment. But I guess I got to change it to an educational channel. You're absolutely right. That's insane. That's insane. Mike, will you watch Andor Season 2 with us and not just the members? Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll do watch parties for Andor Season 2. Yeah, we're just watching Season 1 with the members right now because we're getting hyped up for Season 2. Yeah, so this just blew my mind. So, yeah, my mind is blown. Did anybody else know this? Has anybody else just been holding out on me for all these years? Anybody? That's crazy. Okay, but this is Cyril's mom. Of course, she returns. Yeah. Well, I guess you learn something new every day. Okay, but Cyril's mom, she makes an appearance. This is crazy. Is this the pilot from? No, it's not. Never mind. Gorman Massacre yet again. Saw Gerrera yelling at somebody.
You're here, you're right here, and you're ready to fight!
What are our thoughts on it being called a Star Wars story? What do we think? Andor, a Star Wars story. What's up with that? More like Kino Loy. We'll get to Kino Loy in a second. So Rogue One is obviously called a Star Wars story, but Andor Season 1 was not called Andor Season 1, a Star Wars story. So why change that? You know? Why do it at all? Cyril's mom reminds me so much of my grandmother who raised me. Makes me really miss her. She died in 2014. Well, sorry for your loss, John, but that's pretty cool. That's I guess that's the goal of the character, right? You know? Honestly, are they better off just turning it into a movie and releasing it into theaters? Maybe that's why there was the delay. They were considering that as a possibility. Probably not. It's too long. I mean, it would be 4 movies. You can't just release it as one movie. It would be 7 hours long. So I don't think, no, there's no way. Could they release the final arc into theaters? Maybe, like on May 13th, will it be you can go see it in the movies type thing? Possibly. We need more of Luthen's ship. I agree with that. Luthen's ship is awesome. But yeah, so Rogue One, I mean, Andor, Star Wars story, right there. Cassian giving it a smirk. In April 22nd. On Disney Plus. Okay, so that's the trailer. I mean, a lot going on in that trailer. But even still, it just passed the 5 million views mark, which is crazy. 5 million views in one day, and it's still number one on trending. That's insane. That's huge for Star Wars. Huge. It's number one on trending too, not number one on entertainment, not number one on whatever, sci-fi, whatever the lists are. It's number one on trending. That's enormous. Yeah. Okay. But let's talk about it. How much more excited are you now for Andor Season 2 since the trailer dropped? Because for me, I'm going to be completely honest, we've been waiting for this trailer for so long that my excitement level for Andor was still pretty high, but it was probably about here. And since this trailer dropped, it's gone all the way up to here. Like, there's nothing that gets you more excited than actually just seeing a piece of what's coming. Seeing that, just a trailer, that's all you need. It's just a trailer to get you hyped up for what's to come. Obviously, there's still 2 months, or just about 2 months, until this show airs. So we're going to be getting a lot more trailers, TV spots, etc., posters, whatever, interviews. You're going to get a lot more information and stuff about this show. But the trailer is a very important one. And I think it really hit all the right points. With the exception of the music, which some fans really, really dislike, the action, the sort of exploring all the different characters. You see Luthen only once. You don't see B2, but you see everybody else. You see Saw Gerrera, you see Mon Mothma, you see Bix, you see Cassian, you see Brazos, you see Krennic, you see K2SO, you see everybody. You get hints at the Gorman Massacre. You get hints at the possibility of, or you get hints at seeing Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding. Possibly a Bix saving Brazos arc. Like, we don't know what the 4 arcs are going to be, but we at least know that one will pertain to Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding. One will pertain to the Gorman Massacre. And one will lead right into Rogue One, which who knows what that's going to be about. So a pretty damn good trailer, if I do say so myself. Oh, shit. There we go. But that's that. That's what we got from here. Now, that's approximately $24 million per episode. That's crazy. That is crazy. No Clea, Vel, or Cinta. Well, I think those characters will be in the show. I don't think it will happen. Yeah. I don't think it will be. They weren't in the trailer, obviously. Do you think we'll see a teenage Jyn Erso? I think it's more likely we will see Galen Erso than Jyn. Because Jyn sort of wouldn't. She didn't join the rebellion before before that. You know? Yeah. What are you talking about, John? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. They were in a Star Wars Celebration trailer. Were they really? I didn't know that. Chopper, get the ghost. Well, again, seeing Yavin 4 gives us the possibility of seeing characters like Chopper, seeing Hera Syndulla, seeing the ghost, seeing all that, seeing Bail Organa, seeing Leia Organa, because Bail is on Yavin 4 in Rogue One. So we could very muchly likely see those characters. Muchly likely. But Jyn was with Saw Gerrera. True. Yeah, that is true. We could maybe see a younger Jyn Erso. She wouldn't be that much younger, though. You see Vel from behind shooting something? Well, Mr. Revenge, I think that is Vel. We don't know for sure if it is, but yeah. Yeah. Kino Loy. Let's talk about Kino Loy for a second. Because you guys remember there was all these rumors and reports about Kino Loy returning for Andor Season 2. This was years ago now at this point. Kino Loy was going to return in Andor Season 2. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know 100% for sure if that will happen. But the last time we saw him, he couldn't swim. He was on the Imperial prison and he couldn't swim. So why and how would we see him again in season 2? You know? Mark says, I was looking forward to 12 weeks of peak. Me too, Mark. Me too. But honestly, this 4-week thing is kind of, it's growing on me, I guess. Kino died. No, he didn't. No, he did not. Kino is great. We didn't see Kino's body. He ain't dead. Well, that seems to be a common occurrence. Definitely need more Andy Serkis. Well, that's the thing. He seems to be the fan favorite character from season 1. And if they could bring him back, they would. So I think if there is an opportunity to see more Kino, they're going to do it. Yeah. Doggy paddle. Yeah. Somebody could just teach him to swim. Andy Serkis confirmed that he is alive himself. Well, there you go. Okay, let's talk about the Kathleen Kennedy thing. We sort of broke down the entire trailer, so let's talk about it. Okay? Let's talk about it. So, Kathleen Kennedy seems to be retiring by the end of this year. Let's read this article and let's talk about it, okay? First of all, tell me in the chat, is this good news? Is this bad news? Who's going to replace her? All that crazy stuff we'll talk about, so tell me in the chat. But let's do this. Let's read this article, okay? Kathleen Kennedy is to exit Lucasfilm president at the end of this year. A late-night shocker from Matt Bellion's Puck newsletter. Kathleen Kennedy will step down as president of Lucasfilm by the end of the year after more than 10 years at the top of the company, over a decade. So, no, you're not having deja vu. No, you did not click on a stream that is old. This is live. This is actually happening right now. It seems like we've talked about this before, time and time again. Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, Kathleen Kennedy retiring, Kathleen Kennedy gone forever. It seems real this time. I mean, a lot of big news people are covering it, but it always has been the intention that she would retire when they find somebody to replace her. And we've talked about this before on this channel time and time again, but it's not a role, it's not a job that anybody wants. When you think about it, all the bad stuff that happens with Lucasfilm, all the bad stuff that happens with Star Wars gets pointed directly at Kathleen Kennedy. She's always the bad guy, never the good. Whenever there's a successful project like Mandalorian or Ahsoka or anything, she never gets the credit for it. It's always the creators like a Jon Favreau or a Dave Filoni or whoever. Tony Gilroy, because of Andor season 1 and season 2. So she always gets the bad end of the stick, so to speak. And she's always the one who they point the finger of blame at, but never the round of applause for Kathleen Kennedy. So for her to retire makes sense. She's been doing the job for so long. She's been in the industry for so long. She deserves to retire. But who wants that job? That's the big question. Who the hell would want that job? You always get the bad news, but never the good one. You always get the blame, but never the credit. It's pretty interesting. Well, let's keep reading. According to the report, Kathleen Kennedy had planned to step down by the end of 2024, when her contract was also up, and had even set up an exit interview with a reporter, but eventually decided to stay for one more year. 3 sources are telling Bellion that she has already informed Disney, as well as friends and associates. Both Disney and Kennedy's personal publicists declined comments to Bellion, and they have reached out to Lucasfilm, but will probably not hear back given the hour. So it seems as though this is concrete. This is happening. It was supposed to happen last year, but it's been postponed to this year. And I think one of the big reasons as to why this is happening, Mike, you want the job? I definitely don't want that job. No, I don't. But one of the biggest reasons I think this is happening this year and not last year is because of Star Wars Celebration. I think Star Wars Celebration this year is going to be Kathleen Kennedy's sort of last hurrah, if you will. And I think a lot of it will be celebrating her career because she's had a fantastic career. And I think a lot of it will be celebrating her. And it will kind of be like handing the keys off to the next person. Whoever's going to replace her will be there, will be at Star Wars Celebration. And it's likely that a big announcement will happen there. Like Kathleen Kennedy comes out on stage, brings out whoever, Doug Chang, whoever it's going to be, the next in line, and says, I'm retiring. I'm retiring and I'm handing the keys down to this. This is a celebration of Star Wars. This is a celebration of the franchise, and I'm retiring. That seems to me what's going on here. But again, that is fully just my speculation. That's it. Yeah. Okay. There's no information on who the succession as of yet, who will be the next in line. The official confirmation will probably wait, but other Hollywood trades might pick this up in the coming hours. So here's George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy. Kennedy assumed the role of the head of the company after George Lucas decided to sell to Walt Disney Company on October 30th, 2012. She has overseen the entire machinery since then, including 6 theatrical films. 6? Oh, 5 of the... What? 5 Star Wars movies in the 5th... Oh, Indiana Jones. I was fully confused there. Indiana Jones Adventure as well, being the 6th one, as well as the release of many live-action series on Disney Plus and the production of several others that will be coming out somewhat soon. Kathleen Kennedy's 10 years at Lucasfilm were marked by her collaboration with several filmmakers, from bringing on J.J. Abrams to make a $2 billion grossing Force Awakens, which saw the return of main casts of the original trilogy, to Rian Johnson, who made the divisive Last Jedi. She also brought in Tony Gilroy to make Rogue One, setting up his team to correct the course of that film, and eventually partnered with him to make Andor Season 1 and Season 2, which we were just talking about for about an hour. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Ba-ba. Okay. So she, of course, usually gets the blame for stuff like The Last Jedi, for stuff like The Acolyte, for all that stuff. But she never gets the credit for bringing Tony Gilroy on for Rogue One, or having him stay for Andor Season 1 and Season 2, bringing John and Dave together. She also hired Jon Favreau and paired him up with Dave Filoni to make The Mandalorian and set up the entire hub for live-action shows in this New Republic era, the Mandoverse, if you will. However, there have also been major setbacks, including the creative overhaul of Solo, mere weeks away from completing principal photography, and with one set of directors, or the announcements of around a dozen film projects that were ultimately scrapped and reworked significantly because of creative differences between studios and filmmakers. Again, a lot goes into that stuff. Yes, I'm sure some of that was on her, but probably not all of it. You got the whole pandemic, you got just stuff happens in the backgrounds, but again, she gets the bad end of it. In November 2024, it was reported that Kathleen Kennedy had brought filmmaker Simon Kinberg to write and produce a new trilogy for theatrical films, feature films, and would push the narrative of the franchise into the future. No details have been revealed, but the reports seem to indicate that this will take place in the era after The Rise of Skywalker, after the Skywalker saga. Kathleen Kennedy will still produce these movies in addition to every other Lucasfilm project that is currently in the works. That means Ahsoka Season 2, that means Andor Season 2, that means the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, that means whatever animation projects and live action projects are going to be announced at Star Wars Celebration. Kinberg's movies join a full slate of films that are also in development, as well as a forthcoming Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is currently in post-production and will be ready to release on May 22nd, 2026. Sean Levy's movie is also reportedly set to go in front of the cameras later this year and is currently circling Ryan Gosling to star. We've talked about this before. But yes, James Mangold is co-writing and directing a new movie 25,000 years before The Phantom Menace, Dawn of the Jedi. Dave Filoni is directing a film that'll be a culmination of all the storylines so far in the New Republic era. And Sharmina Bencinoy will direct a Daisy Ridley return as Rey in a new movie that was originally announced to take place 15 years after Palpatine's defeat in The Rise of Skywalker. So obviously a lot of production still going on over at Lucasfilm, but the big headline is Kathleen Kennedy is retiring. And that seems to get a lot of fans excited for one reason or another. A change, they don't like her, whatever it may be. Some fans seem to be very, very excited. Now, here's the deal. Are those fans who really, really dislike Kathleen Kennedy, really, really dislike Disney Star Wars, going to come and be lovers of Disney Star Wars since she's gone? No. They're just going to find something to complain about for the next person, whoever it may be that takes charge. Now, with that being said, tell me in the chat, who do you think will be the one to take charge? Who will take the role of CEO of Lucasfilm after Kathleen Kennedy? Because let's not forget, Kathleen Kennedy was handpicked by George Lucas himself. Handpicked. So who's going to be the next one? What do we think? What do we think? Tony Gilroy? I don't know if Tony Gilroy wants that role. When you think about it, Tony Gilroy did an incredible job with Andor and with Rogue One, but he's been very vocal about not really knowing much about Star Wars, you know? And I'm sure, because he's a writer and a director, he doesn't want that role. Dave Filoni, the same thing could be said. Yes, he's taken more of a leadership role at Lucasfilm, being the chief creative officer, but I think that's the perfect role for him. He gets to oversee all of the creative side of things, not the business side of things. The CEO, yes, they have some sort of creative input on what happens, but not that much. They're really more the business side of things. Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau could. I feel like that could be a natural next step for him. He was an actor, became a director. Now he's a producer and a director, executive producer, all that stuff. Maybe the next evolution of Jon Favreau's career could be CEO of Lucasfilm. That would be insane. Mark Hamill? No. He's an actor. Steven Spielberg. Again, I don't think he wants that. Steven Spielberg is older. I'm sure he doesn't want that role. Qui-Gon Jinn? Okay, no. George Lucas himself? No. The reason he sold the company in the first place. Bryce Dallas Howard? Probably not. She's a director again. Sam Witwer? A voice actor turned CEO of Lucasfilm would be quite the headline, but I doubt it. I think the best bet, or one of the best bets, is Doug Chiang. Doug Chiang has been with the company since George Lucas was a part of it, and he's taken sort of more of a leadership role over the last couple of years. Maybe they've been setting him up for this. I don't know. He seems to be the guy, though. He seems to be the front runner, if I were to guess. Yeah. Lin-Win Brennan, sorry. Yeah, she seems to be also another possible one for sure. Yeah. Darth Jar Jar, that could be a good one. That would be a good one. Yeah. But either way, the headline seems to be Kathleen Kennedy is retiring this year. Now, it has not been confirmed, but that seems to be the headline in what's likely to happen. I'm guessing they're going to use Star Wars Celebration as a place to usher in the next leader, but only time will tell. Fans would really, really galvanize behind a Jon Favreau or a Dave Filoni easily. It's selling them on somebody else. That's the big issue. Selling fans on who is going to be next. It'll be shocking if it was Dave Filoni. To me, it would be very, very shocking. I don't think he wants to do the whole business side of things, you know? How about they hire Mike to run the show? Although that would be fantastic. I definitely don't want that job. That seems like a whole lot of hoopla. Yeah.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It would not be something that I would want to do. Let's put it that way. To deal with all that crap all the time, that would not be fun. Palpatine? Yeah, put Palpatine in charge. Why not? Maybe Chopper will direct? Oh, okay. Now we're just losing it, chat. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit here because I want to talk about this. This is so cool. All right, let's talk about this. It has been revealed today. Okay, talk about the last couple, like 48 hours have been insane when it comes to Star Wars news. But the last 48 hours, we got an Andor Season 2 trailer, this news of Kathleen Kennedy possibly retiring this year, and then this. The 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. And we saw this coming. They've been doing the anniversary stuff for a while. But it will be re-releasing into theaters on April 25th. This is pretty interesting to me because they've been doing May the 4th for the last 2 years. I saw The Phantom Menace last year, and I saw Return of the Jedi the year before on the May the 4th weekend. Or maybe it was the weekend before May the 4th, and it went into the May the 4th weekend. Whatever. It was the 2 weekends of May the 4th. This is weird to me. This is early. This makes me believe that there's something else coming on May the 4th. Something important, like an animated show or something along those lines. And they didn't put this on May the 4th. But even still, Revenge of the Sith will return to theaters on April 25th. This, for somebody like me, who's only 22 years old and was only 3 when this movie came out, it's awesome. I never got to watch this movie on the biggest screen possible, and now I get to. So you best believe that I will be there watching this in the theaters. Now let's talk about this poster for a second. It's so cool. You got the space battles up in the top corners here, above Coruscant on the right and the left. You got Vader's helmet with Anakin in the middle. Of course, the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan right there on Mustafar. Pretty damn cool. Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Where was it? Oh, that was the Lothal thing. Yeah, here we go. So, 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Anakin Skywalker is about to bring peace, freedom, justice, and security to his new empire on the big screen. Hype. Okay. Celebrate the 20th anniversary of the premiere of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. The final film in the prequel trilogy, Episode 3, will be released in theaters on April 25th, 2025, running in select theaters in the U.S. and international territories for only 1 week. Screenings will be available in several formats, including, for the first time ever, 4DX, which I believe is like 3D, but also your seat shakes or something like crazy like that. I don't even know. But from exhilarating battles over the planet of Coruscant to the fiery volcanic high grounds of Mustafar, relive the pivotal chapter in the Skywalker saga. The 4DX experience features high-tech motion chairs, there you go, and syncs with over 21 effects, all designed to complement the narrative of the film. I might have to try that out. Probably not, though. Yeah, so this is pretty damn cool. The poster's awesome. I mean, it's my personal favorite Star Wars movie of all time. And we get to go see it in the movie theaters. That's pretty damn cool, chat. Pretty damn cool. Oh, this poster is sick. Gives you way more detail. You get Coruscant. You got the Jedi Temple on fire over there. You got Palpatine's office over there. You got the burning lavas of volcanic lavas of Mustafar. Pretty damn cool. So tell me in the chat, are you going to go see this in theaters? Are you going to go watch Revenge of the Sith where it deserves to be in theaters? What do we think? Don't get sick that day? Oh, never. Revenge of the Sith is your favorite movie? Mine too. Mine too. Lee, what's up? I don't know why. I couldn't care less about it, if I'm honest. What? That's just crazy talk. If it's local, I'm not traveling 35 miles. Well, that's valid. It is only select theaters. True. Nice. Nice. Okay. Actually, let me end this poll, by the way, because this poll's been up for a while. So the question was, do you think 4 weeks of Andor is a good idea? 77% of you said yes. Wow, with over 100 votes, 77% of you guys say yes. Interesting. That's pretty damn cool. So let's talk about Andor. Let's get back to Andor, circle back to what we're all here for today, and that is Andor. So I'm shocked. 77% of you guys do like the idea of only 4 weeks. That's wild. Okay, so let's talk about it. So we do have the directors for Andor Season 2 as well, which we're going to look at earlier. But let's take a look at it again. So the cool part about it... Wait, what? Oh, here we go. The cool part about it is that because it's only 4 arcs, we get 4 directors for each arc. Now, 3 have only been announced. The middle arc of... only 3 directors, because the first one gets 1 through 6. Wow, okay. So only 3 directors are in control of this second season of Andor. Tony Gilroy is the writer for all of the episodes still. But Ariel Kilman, does the first 6 episodes. Janice Metz does the next 3. And Alonzo My God, people, get some easier names to pronounce. Does the last three. Okay, so that's pretty damn cool. That means usually when there's one director doing all 3 episodes, it's a very, very well-told story. It's like these directors got their own movies pretty much because they're going to be the length of a movie and they're going to tell the story of 1 year in the Star Wars timeline. They got 2 stories, I guess, with episode 1 through 6. This makes me believe that episode 1 through 6 are more connected than the other ones, but I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But those are your directors. Now, honestly, I don't know a single one of them by name. So let's look it up, shall we? So the first one was, what the hell? There we go. What was it? Something. Kellyman. Kelman? Layman. Sure. Okay. This guy right here. He's an Australian director, filmmaker based in London. Let's see what he has for movies. Partisan? Wait, what? Directed the movie Partisan. Like Saw Gerrera's Partisan? I've never heard of it. Anybody else? Anybody in the chat ever heard of this guy? Anybody in the chat heard of this guy? I don't know. Interesting. Never heard of him. But moving on to the next. Janice. What was it? Janice what? Janice Metz. Or Metz. Janice Metz. This guy right here. He's a Danish director and filmmaker. He did Armadillo. All the Old Knives. I don't know any of this. This is pretty concerning to me. Much like, any Star Wars creator that hops on board, any director or anything like that, you want them to have Star Wars experience. So far, 0 for 2. And I don't even know any of the projects that they've done. Now, maybe those movies are fantastic and I've just never seen them before, but it's not a good look right away. It's the same argument that I have with Charmin Obed-Chinoy. Alonzo, what was it? Something with a B or something with an R? Alonzo R. Found it. Okay. Alonzo is a Mexican film director best known for his, The Kitchen. Not even going to try. Again, I don't know any of these movies. Now, that's not a bad thing. Maybe these movies are spectacular and I just don't know them. But the lack of Star Wars experience, again, concerns me. But, hey, only time will tell. In Tony Gilroy we trust. Exactly. I have all the faith in the world that Tony Gilroy is picking the best people. I think Andor Season 1 had a very similar thing where there's a bunch of nobodies that I knew. Or didn't know, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. But those are your directors for Andor Season 2. And there was something else I wanted to get to here. Hang on. Oh, yeah, this. So Tony Gilroy had this to say about Andor. So let's take a look at this. One of the great thrills of making Andor is the scale of the story and the number of characters we are able to meet. Ordinary people, Imperial overlords, passionate revolutionaries. They are all real people making epic decisions. All of them are staring down questions with terrifying consequences. So this is pretty much why Andor is so good, why people who love it, love it. It doesn't have to do with the Jedi, it doesn't have to do with the Sith, it doesn't have to do with the Force or anything like that. It's Star Wars at its ground level. Ordinary people, perspective of them. Ordinary Imperial overlords, the perspective of them. Passionate revolutionaries, like a Luthen, like a Mon Mothma. Your Imperial overlords are like a Krennic, a Dedra. And then, of course, ordinary people like a Bix and a Cassian. Ordinary people in the galaxy trying to make their way. And that's pretty much the best way to describe it, you know? So there you have it. That's Tony Gilroy's take, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. We looked at the poster, we watched the trailer, we did all that stuff. So there was a teaser trailer that was released. Should we watch this, chat? So the teaser trailer that was released at Star Wars Celebration Should we watch it? Do we risk it? We're risking it, chat. We're going to risk it with no volume, okay? Because it's the soundtrack from Andor Season 1. Yeah, we're going to go no volume and we're going to watch it. So this is the trailer that was shown, I believe, at D23 last year to the people there. Maybe it was Star Wars Celebration 2 years ago. I'm not too sure. But either way, this was not released publicly. But there are scenes that we just got in the new trailer. Okay? So let's sort of do a side-by-side comparison type thing. So this was one we got to see in the new trailer. But right off the bat, it's Cyril. And it looks like, I don't even know, some Imperial guy. That we just saw in the trailer. There's Gorman. Cassian. Nice. Mon Mothma. Bix. Dedra. See, this was probably at D23 because there's a lot of just quick little frames. That's Vel right there. She's fighting somebody. Seems like Cyril's got sort of his life together here. Like, he got fired from his job in Season 1, and he's just creepily stalking Dedra the rest of the time. But he does save Dedra, so maybe that gets him a good role. I don't know. There's Leia. No way! He's eating cereal with his mom. Let's go! Somebody being tortured again, or is this just from Season 1? That's the Gorman Massacre. Wait, who the hell was that? I don't know. That guy's weird looking. Could this be the inside of the Death Star? Or maybe not the inside of the Death Star, but like something about this? Who is that guy? Bix. Whoa, chat, close your eyes. Okay, we're going back to the gallery, which is pretty wild. I mean, obviously, we're going back to Coruscant, and we know that, but still. Hiding something. Oh, so they're going to be at the massacre, too. Ooh, this is a good look at the courtyard there. And there's where everybody's dying. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a pretty hype trailer. Without giving really much away at all, it's a pretty hype trailer. And honestly, they still have this trailer in their back pockets that they can release at any time. So a few similar scenes, focusing on the Gorman Massacre still quite a bit. But that gives us more of an Imperial look at stuff, because the trailer we got doesn't really. I mean, we got Krennic, obviously, but only for a few scenes, and Dedra only once. A couple stormtroopers here and there, but yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty dang cool. Yeah. Okay. You think we're going to meet Uncle Harlow in this next season? Maybe. I love seeing them walk away as stuff blows up behind them on the new trailer. Yeah, it's sort of like a superhero type thing. They do all the time in those superhero movies. Mike likes a good massacre. Hey. Yeah, you're absolutely right. No. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. With that being said, I do have to get out of here a little bit earlier today, a little earlier than usual today. So we got to wrap this on up. But tell me in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you now for Andor Season 2? On a scale of 1 to 10, with now less than 2 months away until Andor Season 2, how excited are you for this second season? What do we think, chat? For me, it's growing every single day. I'm probably currently around like an 8.5, getting close to a 9. My hype is growing. That trailer boosted me probably from like a 5 to an 8.5 because I was patiently waiting for that trailer. But yeah, look at these numbers. 9, 10, 66, a million, 8, 9, 10 plus, 6.8, okay, 8, 9.5. Yeah, excitement is an understatement. There you go. Yeah. We didn't need a trailer to get me hyped up. I definitely did. Trailers help so much. There's so many people who don't watch any trailers, don't want to get any information going into a project beforehand, and maybe that works for you. It does not work for me. I need to get hyped up, and I love to get hyped up. I love sitting here dissecting every single frame of this trailer like it was so cool and so fun to do, you know? Yeah, no? Mike needs performance enhancers to get going. No. If that's what you mean by a trailer, then yes. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. But until next time, smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. If you haven't gone and checked out the What If that we did on Sunday, please go check it out. I appreciate it quite a bit. Took a lot of time, and the community ourselves put it together, so I appreciate it. And if you have not checked it out already, go do so. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. How many likes do we have? Am I going to be upset, chat? 71? We had like 100 people here the whole time. What the hell? But I appreciate it. Go watch the breakdown video for this trailer, even though we kind of just did that anyway. Go check it out. Watch out for a short later on tonight. And yeah, every live stream for the next Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for the rest of your lives. And there you go. I appreciate you guys so much more than you will ever know. And until next time, may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. I really appreciate those hearts. I really do. It's very, very generous. Huge shout outs to Tom, Darth Plagueis Lives, your pal Joe for the very generous memberships and super chats. I appreciate it. And until next time, Andor Season 2 trailer. Finally. But I appreciate it. Okay. Until next time, look at all these hearts. You guys are crazy. Okay. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.